What's up, everyone? Today, Graz back here with another video, and I want to discuss why I think that if Xbox Series X or PS5 got delayed into 2021, it would have been okay. It would have been okay. And I'm going to give you guys a couple points on why I feel that even if the game consoles, the new generation, did not launch in the month of November of 2020 and they launched, let's say, in the first half of 2021, that it would have been fine. And I have a couple things I want to go over. First of all, being that I'm finding, by reading a lot of things on the internet and seeing some videos, that there's a lot of bugs in the consoles, which of course is something to expect. As we all know, that when there's a brand new console that comes out, it is new software, it is new hardware. So we are going to see a lot of bugs come out in these consoles. But I'm just finding it that there's a little bit too many, especially that the console has been out, what, a week and a half, not even. Just some examples. Let's say the PS5 missing 1440p output, so you can't connect the PS5. You could connect yourself to a 1440p monitor, but it doesn't have that native resolution. I've been seeing and hearing a lot about games crashing and downloads not being able, not working properly. The other thing about you not being able to save PS5 games on an external hard drive just to free up some space. As we all know, yes, the PS5 does come with an 825 SSD, but once the UI memory is taken away, which is about 100, I think 100 some gigs, it really takes a lot of the space. There's not much room left. So, not being able to use an external hard drive on the PS5 is quite annoying right now. And the reason why it's quite annoying is that at launch, there's no other alternative to not having enough space on the hard drive. So as you guys know, the expandable storage slot on the PS5 right now is locked. Even if you were to put some type of NVMe, PCIe, SSD that matches up to the same specs as the PS5, you can't. It's locked. So that port is locked, which is fine. But Sony, don't you guys think you should have came up with your own storage at least? So a little bit what Xbox did. Like, I understand the route that Xbox did is, they're going to come out with their own proprietary, Seagate storage that you have to use. Okay, cool. Yes, it's going to be expensive, but one, you're guaranteed that it's going to work. And two, it's available to the consumers. Versus PS5 is giving you the availability to use other third party in the future. But the thing is that none of them are certified right now. So Sony doesn't have their own SSD that you can use, external SSD that you can use. And there's no third party available. So there's no options whatsoever for external, for extra space on the PS5. So that's really that's causing a lot of issues for some people out there. The other thing as well is quick resume. The Xbox has it, as the PS5 doesn't. So the quick resume being a nice one would have been nice. VRR, very refresh rate. I read something that Sony is planning on adding VRR in the short future with some type of firmware update. So there's a lot of bugs out there. Again, no storage. I'm hearing a little bit less bugs on the Xbox Series X, but I'm guessing because just looking at their interface, they haven't changed much, and it looks like a lot of these things was already included inside. But where PS5 does a little bit worse, maybe Xbox does, but where Xbox does a little bit worse, and maybe I'll bring it up to PS5 as well, is the games. There's just not that many next-gen games. A lot of them are cross-platform. So if you look at the PS5, okay, yeah, we got games like Miles Morales, but Miles Morales is also available on the PS4. So for myself, the only two games that just come to my mind right now in terms of next-gen is Godfall, and the other one is Demon's Souls. And then you got Sackboy Adventure as well. But apart from that, there's not a huge amount of next-gen games that the consoles need to be purchased now to play on. And if you look at the Xbox Series X, they're in just worse shape because there's no real third-party games available for the consumer to buy. As you guys know, Halo Infinite got delayed until next fiscal year. So on the game side, I mean, it's not like as if there's tons of games, right? So lots of bugs, point number one. Point number two, not many games. And even like, let's say next month, I'll give you guys another example. There's the new game Cyberpunk 2077 coming out. But that game is also going to be cross-platform. So you're going to be able to play it as well on your PS4 or on your Xbox One X or PS4 Pro, whichever console that you have. So the games is another one. The next thing as well is actually my expectations for this console generation. To be honest, I was expecting games to, right off the bat, without like being optimized or anything like that, to run at 60 FPS, 4K native resolution with ray tracing. For me, that's what next gen is all these three components included. So 60 FPS with 4K native and ray tracing included. But it seems like I can't really find a game that does that. Take Godfall, for example. So Godfall, which is a game that only came out on this generation. So it's not a cross-platform game. So, you know, they had the time to design their game based on utilizing all the new tech. But even them in 4K mode, they're only running at 30 FPS with ray tracing, which I find really, really strange. You know, yes, they do have a 60 FPS mode, but the resolution bumps down to under 1440p, which is suboptimal for next gen. And I mean, it's the same thing with Spider-Man. Like Spider-Man, yes, has a 4K mode, ray tracing, but 30 FPS. So, you know, I'm just hoping that this is because developers are still making cross-gen games. And because of that, they haven't, you know, spent as much time utilizing the new power on the PS5. And with time, obviously, when we're going to stop making these cross-gen games, developers can concentrate a little bit more on really harnessing the power of these new consoles, either being the PS5 or the Xbox Series X. So again, my expectations for this console generation is that I expect all games, to run at 60 FPS, 4K with ray tracing. So that's my expectation. And maybe the last point, guys, I want to bring up as well is obviously the availability. Like with COVID, you know, we have to talk about it. With the pandemic going on around the world, I'm sure that it really hindered on a lot of these things. You know, things might have been rushed, people working from home. So obviously, you know, all these bugs that the systems are having is suboptimal, maybe on the production side as well. So it wouldn't have been a bad idea to, you know, I know people are not going to want to hear this, but to push the consoles to next year, you know, wrap up production, have a lot more in stock as well in terms of availability. And maybe we wouldn't have had all these issues as well with scalpers just, you know, buying up all the consoles and then reselling them at double or triple the price. So that's it for today, guys. I just wanted to give my sense on why I feel that, you know, this console generation could have been pushed to next year. On a positive side, though, you know, one nice thing about it coming out this year is that maybe it's giving people a little bit of happiness. With the pandemic, people are at home, so these new console generations are hyping people up, putting smiles on people's face. So I can see that 100%. You know, like it's bringing a lot of happiness to the hardcore gamers and to the casual gamers as well. So there is some positive there as well. So that's it for today, guys. Like, subscribe, leave some comments, and looking forward to posting another video. Have yourself a good one, guys. Be safe and take care of yourself. Cheers.